We are going to add a couple different asteroids. So we'll go into the prefabs folder and just take a look at this asteroid here. So far we have a speed variable on this thing, and we're going to add a damage to it and a score setting here. So what we'll do is double click or just open up this asteroid script, and you can see, if you don't recall, we made this public float a long time ago. And so for speed, and then we tell the thing to move on the z-axis by the speed variable. And then so in Unity we set that, right? So let's go ahead and create something called damage. So public, I'm not sure if I have this set as int or float. Let's see, in Asteroid game script, when we lose a life, we have lives are integers, and the score is also integers. So we have to make sure we set this one over here too as an integer, okay, not a float. Okay, so we're going to say damage, okay, and we're going to give it a damage, and then we're going to give it a, then we're going to say public int score amount or value. How about value? Value, score value. Okay, and then what we will do is right here when we lose a life, we're going to change this 1 to damage, and then we are going to add score by score value. Okay, right? And you'll see why we're doing this later. But if we go back to the prefab of the asteroid, we will now need to set these values because they start out at 0. When you just declare variables like that, you'll see that they are score is 0 and damage is 0. So when the asteroid hits us right now, we won't get any, we won't lose any lives because it's set to 0. You can see how it's still at 3 every time. So let's just set it right now to the damage to 3. We'll instantly lose because you'll take 3 lives right at once. Okay, so we don't want that, right? Okay, so we're just going to set this to 1. And then the score value, when we destroy them, we want to get a value. So let's go, I'm going to go 12 so that you can see that it's actually working, because we had it set at 10 before this tutorial. So when I shoot these, my score now goes up by 12, 24, okay? 36. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reset that back to 10 now that I've proven that that's how that works. And now let's just make a new asteroid. Okay, I'm going to go real simple and drag an asteroid onto the stage. And then what you have to do is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go right click and say prefab, and I'm going to say unpack. Okay, so I'm going to kind of, it keeps these things on here, and I'm going to drag it back into the prefabs folder in a second. But before I drag it back in there, Asteroid 2 is going to have a damage of, well, let's just give it a 2. And then the score value, though, we'll get, let's just say we get 125 points for score value, because I want to be able to see it. And then, but its speed, what do we want to make it faster? You guys play around with this however you want. I'm going to, I'm going to make this one big and slow. Okay, so I'm going to cut the speed down to like 5. And then, but on stage, I'm going to double click this. I'm going to change the scale. Ooh, it's already at 100. So I'm going to, how about we just double the scale, make it really big. Oop, I took 100, 200. Okay, it's going to be a real big asteroid. Okay, and then, and it'll go slower. And what I suggest, what we should do actually is create a new material and change this graphic right here, put a different graphic. If you don't remember, if you click this, it'll show you where it was. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to drag something that's in there already on there. So just so it looks different. But you, oh, what about a metal one? Big metal asteroid. Okay, so I actually liked this thing. It was brighter. Okay, so you make a new texture, put it on there. Okay, and then, so now we're going to go into the prefabs folder and we'll drag it in here. Okay, and then remember, now we could delete this one from stage. So we have a second asteroid. Now, how are we going to spawn this second asteroid? We're going to have to tell it to in this Asteroid game script. So we go to Asteroid game script, And right here we have spawn asteroid. Okay, so let's just for now make a second asteroid, asteroid 2, public game object asteroid 2. Okay, and then for now we will, let's spawn, when we spawn this asteroid, let's spawn asteroid 2 just to test that that code works, and then we'll come back and change something up. Basically what I want to do is spawn that second one after you level up. So we need to drag something into this field. I'm going to go ahead and drag asteroid 2 into this slot because that's the one it's going to spawn. So it should go slower and it should be bigger. And there it is. And my score is going up a lot more because of and then when I get hit I should lose 2 lives, right? I did. Okay? Okay, so now how can we give a little bit of variation to when those things come? This is, you can script this part however you like. I'm going to always instantiate the small ones, so that was this, and then I'm just going to make an if statement. If, how about score is greater than 0? If score is greater than 0. So it starts at 0, and as soon as I destroy one asteroid, then these are going to start coming. But you could obviously set that. Let's make it a little bit more real. Let's set it to if it's greater than 10. So I shoot the first one. Oop, that's not a 1, just asteroid. Okay, I shoot the first one. Then after I shoot the second one, then these other ones start spawning in. And we could actually, how about we adjust this so that they come a little bit in a wider range. Okay, you could play with these numbers. You can make it even, we could try 6. I just want to make sure that they're, actually, we got to play with that. You could maybe like 100 or something like that would actually be better. Okay, play with those numbers. Okay, so I should be able to destroy 2 regular asteroids, and then the second one should start coming in. So get the 1. I missed. Got 2, and now you see the big ones are coming. Okay, and wow. Okay, maybe yeah. And then you could just adjust speeds and stuff. Maybe if on the first asteroid, maybe that's too fast for a player. Maybe you want to slow things down. That'll probably end up having a lot on your screen at once. And then you could make a 3rd asteroid, a 4th asteroid, and just keep leveling your game up. So I've slowed these down quite a bit, and now you can see that I've got 2 coming at once. And then, yeah, you could play around with those variables. You could obviously put more asteroids in here. And then in this code, you could say after your score gets up to like 100, then make a 3rd asteroid and a 4th asteroid. And you could probably play around with these numbers. It looks like if we don't want them like, exactly in the center of the screen, we can play around and see how far it actually still looks decent by moving them around side to side, up and down. It's my last little test before I freeze this video. And that should probably wrap it up. You could probably make some graphics that up here that say level up when when these new asteroids. Oh, that's kind of hard to click when they're down there. Okay, so all right, so play around with those numbers here, and maybe that's too far to the sides. Maybe 10 is better. Okay, okay. So have fun making your new asteroids and setting the new damage and changing the speeds. All right, have fun.